drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor early in the morning?
I'm Paul Bennett at Shoestring Shipyard here in Millbridge, Maine. We're located along Maine's Bold Coast, right at about 44 degrees, 37 minutes north. This is a video that, well, it was almost a year ago I recorded it. It was the third or fourth video in a series that had to do with design considerations for my new sailboat. Setting various parameters, various thoughts, things I ran into, design modifications as a result. In the last video that I had posted, you saw that I had settled on a 28-foot sailing dory. However, another big dose of reality, total sticker shock, coming to grips with my bank account and what I can actually afford versus the cost of things today. Radical change. The final design, sort of, I say sort of because along the way I've made changes to this final design, but the basic hull shape, size, and so forth, it remains the same. In this clip that I shot almost a year ago, I'll explain a little bit further, but basically I've gone from 28 feet down to 18 feet. Because I have most of the plywood I need without having to buy a whole lot more, a lot of the dimensional lumber I had, it was really just buying epoxy and various other adhesives, and I'm going to have to buy a little bit more fiberglass cloth. So some of the changes to this design, which I'll explain more later, originally it was based on a Sharpie, and the Sharpie had a centerboard. I really didn't want a centerboard, so I started out with that design, incorporating it, but I changed it and got rid of it, and it now has twin keels. A lot like a British-made westerly. That allows the vessel to sit bolt upright on the hod. If you bring it into the shallows at high tide and the tide goes out, she'll just sit bolt upright. It won't heel over. And so you can just get out and go ahead and scrape the bottom and clean it without having to haul the boat. Along the way, I decided there was a specific voyage I wanted to make with this vessel. And it's called the Down East Circle. The Down East Circle is actually a dedicated Facebook group to that. There is a cruising guide available for doing this. It's about $60. You can order it on Amazon. This is the cruising guide, the Down East Circle route, and it's by Captain Cheryl Barr. She's a Canadian. She has done this route several times. She's gone clockwise, she's gone counterclockwise, and she's done it in both power and sail. It's actually a very good cruising guide. I've already had a chance to read through it. She contains a lot of really good information. Mostly it's all about Canada, but that's okay because I already have all the charts and information I need for the US part of the journey. I didn't have it for Canada, so this is going to help out quite a bit. So the design is really focused on doing this particular voyage. It comes out to about, maybe around 2,500 nautical miles or so, give or take. It's quite a voyage. It's a few months if I do it all at one time. A little coffee. It's kind of chilly out this morning, and I have to apologize for any background noise you hear. I have a metal roof. There's no insulation or overhead here in the shop, and so whenever it rains, that rain hits that metal roof and it just makes a lot of noise. So this is going to be the last video you see with regard to design, or focusing on design. I've already started building the boat. If you are a subscriber to Down East Thunder Creations, you've already seen the videos I've posted through various steps of construction on my new sailboat. Then of course I had to wrap it up for the past 6 months over the winter because we have long winters here in Maine, and you really can't work with epoxy resins and various other adhesives in the very cold weather that we have here. In fact, even though things have warmed up and I just recently untopped the boat getting ready to work on it now, as the warmer weather approaches, the weatherman is calling for snow tomorrow night and into Saturday. Today happens to be Thursday, May 7th. Yeah, this is Maine. Snow is what we do. I'm going through those build videos that I posted on Down East Thunder Creations. I've been trimming them down a bit, and I will repackage them and repost them right here on Shoestring Shipyard. By the time I get through all that, I should be caught up. All the new boat building videos for this season, I'll be posting those fresh and brand new. I hope you enjoy this video. This part of me rambling on is a lot longer than the actual clip that I'm about to show. Thanks for watching. Keep getting a big dose of reality. I've been out of the business for so long and I'm faced with all the new prices, total sticker shock, and I start realizing that the boat has to get smaller. So I finally came up with the latest one. So the new one I came up with now, which I actually have, except for the epoxy, I do have the materials and I can start building, and it's an 18-footer, believe it or not, from 28 feet down to 18 feet. It's a modified Sharpie. No longer dealing with a full keel. It has a centerboard. There'll be more of that. I'll see if I can put together a couple of drawings I can put on the screen just to give you a rough idea. I got the idea from out of Rule Parker's Sharpie book. The one I looked at was a 24 or 28 foot Sharpie. I redrew it. I just used ideas from that particular one and made it an 18-footer. It's okay. It has Spartan accommodations, but it won't have any of the fancy stuff you see with a lot of cruising folks on their boats. That's fine. I'm good with that because I just want to get in the water and I want to get underway. This will be a rugged little boat. It won't be spacious. It won't be super comfortable. All that's left now is to order some epoxy. What you're looking at here, I have redesigned my sailboat yet again because I'll be talking about that later in the video. I don't want to rehash it. But anyway, whole different design now. Instead of a keel boat, this is going to be a small vessel that has a centerboard, basically a kind of a Sharpie, modified Sharpie. When I designed the centerboard in CAD, I didn't know whether or not I would have clearance for it to swing. What I did is I printed this out in scale, and in this case it's large scale or quarter scale, which is equivalent to 3 inches to the foot. I wanted to make sure I had clearance right here. It wasn't going to hit, and it doesn't. See? This material wouldn't be here on the boat. This would be the bottom of the boat, and the keel swings down. There'd be the bottom of the boat. See how the keel would hang down. And I'll go more into detail on that boat design a little later, but I just wanted to show you, I came out in the shop and I made a little bit of a model. You can see the outline right here, and this is superimposed, just thin plywood here. Put a nail right through where that hole's going to be. In real life, this would be a 3/4 inch steel pin, stainless steel pin. This particular centerboard will be probably around 1 inch thick steel plate. That'll give me all kinds of weight down there for ballast. Sharpies don't generally have a whole lot of ballast in them, if they have any, but in this case it's a modified Sharpie and I'm not using a traditional sail plan, so that's why I thought it would be best to add that ballast. In most cases on a regular Sharpie it wouldn't be steel, it would be wood, it would be hardwood, and then it'd probably mill out a little bit somewhere in this region and they would put a little bit of lead in it, and that would help because it's wood. You don't want it to float back up. That would help keep the wood sunk down, you know, the centerboard in position.
What shall we do with the drunken sailor?